Hey folks, this is Jim Swayze for Artist Spotlight. We're here live tonight at Deg Entertainment Studios, and this is our show. Okay, we're here tonight with Charlie Cadaver, Mike Kill, and Raven from Sister Kill Cycle. How's it going, boys?
You see it.
Pretty good. He's the only one right now.
Time.
He dares to be different.
Yeah.
Always.
Okay, Raven, now you moved down here from West Virginia about 13 years ago, and why Tampa?
To be honest, Tampa, I'm from Florida originally.
Okay.
I was born in Daytona Beach, and I lived down here most of my life, and then off and on back up in West Virginia at times.
So you went from one hell to the other hell.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Same pit to nowhere.
Tampa just seemed like at the time, 13 years ago when we were considering moving here, West Virginia was stale and dead. Even though it was a good location to get to New York, to get to Chicago, to get out there and like that, to do anything locally, it was very difficult. So you were always traveling to do anything, even to find a good studio to record in. You had to travel to do that. So Tampa just seemed like it was a hotbed of I'm an old metal head from
it
the
is
80s.
a big metal area.
I mean,
boy.
Tampa's death metal capital of the world. Everybody knows that. And I was like, let's go down there with some crazy fucking Florida cats, know how to get down, and we'll give it a try down there. So.
And actually that's where I started off, was playing in the Tampa death metal scene, and like one of the first nights you went out after you moved here.
Oh yeah,
We met up.
And
it was a fetish night at Liars Club over in Tampa when that was like the happening scene at the time, and we met up that night. And he just says, he comes up to me and he says, "You look like my ex-guitarist Gage."
Yeah.
And that just popped in my head, Pet Cemetery, the little kid Gage, and I just said, no fear. And he came right back with another line from Pet Cemetery. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, oh my God, dude, this guy's just like rolling right with me. He's right in the same groove I am, down in the same gutter as me, and then it was kismet, He was just like, the rest of the night, here's my new guitarist, this guy here.
Yeah, exactly like that. I was probably that intoxicated as well.
Definitely were.
Your first CD, Massacre of the Guilty, was released in 2004, and you got to work with Trace from Nine Inch Nails and Ministry, and Sarah Lee Lucas from
Manson.
I knew I was going to screw that up.
That's all right. It's just Sarah Lee Lucas.
I know, right?
No, that was great. I mean, we produced the album ourselves. Mike had a studio at the time, and we just decided, hey, we're going to do an EP. We're not going to do an album. We need something fresh, something new down here with this lineup. And we just started throwing stuff together and recording. And it seemed like at the time when we first moved down here, everybody wanted to help us out. Everybody was really cool, especially Jen from Jen of Torture. She basically gave us our first big show down here at Masquerade, which is the Ritz.
Right.
Masquerade, then the Ritz again. So we had met the cats from a bunch of bands around Nocturne, and Lucas and I had been friends for like a while.
And then, Chris Telks from Nocturne worked on the CD with us.
Yeah, Chris Telks, he did a lot of mixing, didn't he? He did some mixing. So it was just really cool, and we put it all together. We threw it to Chris Telks. He put his spin on it, and of course he's worked with Nocturne. Yeah, you might know Lacey Connor was on that Rock of Love, show. He was the singer for Nocturne.
Yeah, okay.
And they were married at the time and separated, whatever. But so he threw it back to us, and then we went and Master Lab Studios in Orlando.
How did we even hook up with them? I don't even remember.
Because Lucas and I reconnected. We had known each other from the past, obviously, because the Marilyn Manson, whatever.
Right.
But we had, first met like in Jacksonville when Manson was first getting their break on before they let him go out of the band. But we just reconnected somehow, I guess through playing and Jen or whoever. But, Lucas was like, dude, he's like, I got a mastering studio, I would love to do you guys' record. So That's when he introduced us to Trace, and Trace had worked with Ministry and Nine Inch Nails and
Celine
Celine
Dion.
Dion. I mean, some big names. I mean, who isn't going to say, yeah, let's do this? So
it was great to work with them. I mean, they were just really professional with everything they did. And I mean, Trace, when he's worked with these artists that he has, he's just really honed it to a science. And to work with them for mastering was just a really great thing for us at the time. Just got us that extra punch to everything that we had already.
Cool. Now, like a year later, you won Best Hard Rock Artist at the Florida Wide Hard Music Awards. Now, that's pretty cool. Did you guys get any doors open from that, or?
Yeah, that actually got us a lot of publicity. At the time, cool. We did Screamfest that year as well. The horror convention. Orlando. So we did that, and then that got us out there into another realm where we started getting shopped for national manufacturers, music equipment manufacturers, looking to do a deal with us. So we played a showcase at NAMM. In LA, and we played a showcase in Austin, and at the Whiskey, and in Austin at South by Southwest, and so we ended up getting endorsement deals with BC Rich and D-Drum,
nice.
A few other other manufacturers. Those are the two big names out there, BC Rich and D-Drum, that we got with.
We're actually one of the first hard rock artists that were endorsed with endorsing Monster Energy drink.
Wow.
They were just starting to get on the cusp of getting big. And
yeah, both those showcases we did, South by Southwest and the NAMM showcase, were both Monster Energy. But yeah.
So how long ago was it that you were at Deg Entertainment to record Redemption Through Rebellion?
Yeah, then in 2010, we we broke up for a little while. It just wasn't feeling right at the time. We didn't have the same chemistry going. Mm-hmm. It just felt like we were spinning our wheels. So it was just kind of a mutual, this isn't working out for us at the time. A couple of us went off and did our own things for a little bit and just weren't feeling that. And we really missed the energy that this band had, the charisma, just everything that this band brings to the table between all of its members. It's like you break us up, and we can still shine in certain ways, on our own. But when you bring us together, it just, has this charisma to it, that just you can't really define. So, we knew that we had to get it back to that. We came back together in 2009. We spent some time writing some new material, developing, getting everything arranged and just finally honed. And then we came in here to Deg Entertainment and recorded the Redemption Through Rebellion. And it was a really great release for us. It did really well. We had a lot of positive feedback.
It was a turning point, actually. Mm-hmm. I think it was a turning point in what the band was before then. Up until then, I mean, we kind of rode the more industrial rock and roll route. We had heavy synth, heavy keyboards, electronic drums, and then I think at that point we turned more into a real rock and roll band. Okay. And we still use some of those electronic elements. Kind of like more of our
roots kind of came out, I think. I mean, we all came up, listen to the same kind of, just hard rock, you hear on the radio, largely speaking,
Yeah, anything was famous,
And, then that's where you kind of start to develop your own path from there. But at a certain point, I think everybody kind of in their life path, comes back to kind of their roots, And I think that's what that album was for us. And also, display of our musical maturity at that time.
Okay.
We had some periods of growth, kind of moving apart from each other for a little bit, just kind of you grow in other ways, and then you come and bring that back together and put it all into that same mix you had before, and it just took it to that next dimension. It really did.
Charlie, what's your favorite song off that album?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I wasn't there when that record was made, so I don't really have any personal input as the music was made. So I can't put any emotional distinguish between one individual song.
You have a favorite song for another artist, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I relate to music through lyrics before actual music itself. I mean, yes, the melody, the beats gotta be in your soul, but for me, I look at the lyrics.
But I guess what he's trying to say maybe is there one song there that speaks out to you,
Not really.
Not really?
They're all about equal.
All right, then. So
we're going to listen now to Nothing.
Or Nowhere.
Charlie, so what's your favorite song off the album?
I would have to say probably Black Widow.
Black Widow. Yep, kind of reminded me of my ex-wife.
Yeah, probably the heaviest one. Yeah.
It's heavy. It's actually a very dark song too. I mean, it's primarily written by our ex-keyboardist Jeremy Gabriel.
Okay.
And he unfortunately had a bout with drugs, as a lot of people do, and heroin was real big. So when he was working with us, we were writing the song together, and he brought it. So it was a lot of real special to it because he was involved in it, and he passed away probably shortly after, 2 years after we wrote that song and recorded it. So it holds a special place to me. I mean, we still do it since 2010. It's still on the set list. We still close the shows out with it. So
closing the shows out to Jeremy, to Gabriel.
After the Rebellion album, what did you guys put out afterwards?
Actually, we did. We came in the studio and we were playing a cover song on our set for a long time.
Yeah,
and
I left for a little while. I went to the armpit of Florida, and possibly Tallahassee.
The Panhandle.
So yeah, I was up there for a little bit. So yeah, it's more your area to answer there.
Yeah, so we had done this together on tour for a while. We'd done a cover of Iran by Flock of Seagulls.
Okay.
And we always kind of closed out the set with it, and it was fun. You know, bands love doing covers, but we take covers and we kind of fuck them up, heavy them up, and grudge them up real good. And so we wanted to record, see what it would sound like to actually record it and put some effort into it. So we did that, and we had a guitarist from Sweden for a while.
Yeah, Sweden.
Dixie.
Yeah, in the band.
Dixie.
Dixie.
Shout out to you, brother.
So it was Dixie, myself, and Charlie, and Eric, and he came down, and we actually did a tour. We put like 5 songs, like an EP together called Almost Human.
Okay.
And it's got several originals, and it has the recorded version of Iran on it. So we did that, and we toured for a couple stints out west, back out east, back out west.
Man, some great tunes too. Dead Bird.
Yeah, Dead Bird,
and Scene of the Crime.
Scene of the Crime, yeah, which is still, Scene of the Crime is still getting radio play all over the country, and definitely over in Sweden is pretty big over there.
Cool.
So yeah, we did that, and it kind of segued into Mike Hill coming back into the band. We'd been talking, and Dixie's all the way in Sweden, so he flies over for tours, for rehearsal, for anything like that. And Mike and I reconnected. I was like, dude, you're right here. And he's like, dude, that's so funny because I'm moving back to Tampa. I was like, yeah.
We're back with Sister Kill Cycle. What's next for you guys, man?
Writing new material right now as we speak. Just bouncing ideas back and forth between the guys here, and we're looking to find a drummer right now. So any drummers out there, hit us up. And we're just working on new material, getting ready to get back in the studio.
Awesome. Well, it's great talking to you guys, and we'll be back with more from Sister Kill Cycle one of these days soon. Good night.